So here we have a 1920s or 30s gramophone cabinet. It suffered from some really bad water damage. As you can tell, this is the plywood top, completely delaminated and warped, so that will need completely replacing. These are the doors, which have totally fallen to pieces. They would have been at the front here, and they would have been used to adjust the volume of the gramophone. And as you can see, well, from here, hopefully, the veneer is all detached and bubbling up. Also, these little decorative pieces have come unstuck and are warping. I've turned it on its side. You can see there's quite a few cracks here and there, and also where it's been wet, a lot of the glue has come unstuck. The customer didn't have a lot of money to spend on it, and to be honest, it's probably not worth a great deal of money, but I thought it'd be a nice challenge just to see how good I can get it, because it is in a pretty bad state. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is to give it a good hoover, evacuate the spiders, and then I'm going to give it a good washing with a mild bleach solution. Because it got so wet and for quite a long period of time, there's probably a lot of mould spores inside here. So I'm going to wash it all down with a very mild bleach to hopefully kill off all those mould spores. So I've been all around it, make sure there's no spiders in there. I don't like to kill spiders. So next thing I'm going to do is give it a good hoover. Okay, so this is just a mild bleach, quite diluted. I don't want to get the thing totally soaked, cause any more problems. As I wet this, you can really start to see the colour of the wood coming out. So the next thing I want to do to this is to make sure that the main structure is sound and secure. Clean up as much as I can without dismantling the whole thing. And then get in some hide glue in there, hot hide glue. The hot hide glue should penetrate quite deeply. Be a nice strong fix. So I think my glue is ready. Hot hide glue in a hot jar. Going to put that in there. As much as I can, every area. Okay, so I've left it overnight. The glue should have cured nicely. Yeah, that's very sturdy, very nice. The next step is to see what else needs gluing. surprisingly, considering how wet the top got, all these joints are really solid. So that's good. So all that's going to need is a new piece of ply on top. So now I think the next thing I'm going to do is to work on, go around it each side, work on the veneer, which is in a terrible state, and then these. So I'll be gluing and clamping this, let it dry overnight, then do the next side, and then I'll do the back. So this is what I'm going to use to clamp down the veneer. Nice flat surface, and I shall cover it in tape just to make sure that it doesn't stick. I cut these bubbles following the grain, because then at least when it glues back together again they'll become kind of invisible. Get as much glue in there as possible. Okay, so this has been clamped down now for a few hours, and now we can see what's happened underneath. It's pretty good. There's still a few bits in the middle that haven't really stuck quite so well, so I think I'll have to go over it once more. Okay, so what I'm going to use to clamp this down is this. I've made a coil for that, and it's basically got a gradual curve along the bottom, so that when I clamp it on, it gives a good amount of pressure to the middle. Okay, this has been gluing now for, well, overnight. Let's see what's happened. Good, it's a lot better. Loads better. So this is going to get cleaned up, get rid of all that excess glue. And then I'm going to go around, do the other bits. So what I aim to do is get this bit here as flat as possible, then I can just glue a piece straight onto it. Right, that's looking pretty good. So now I'll cut another bit of oak. We'll cover that whole section there. Right, let's see what happens. I'll take this off. Yep, that's nicely set. I'm just going to darken it a little bit. I've got some homemade walnut stain here. It's made out of walnut hulls. Just darken this off just to make it, trying to make it blend in a bit more. So I've flipped it over onto its back, and the next thing I need to sort out are these cupboard doors. Basically they have a collection of parts, so I'm going to need to work out which bits go where. Like that. And I can see at some point somebody's had a go at sanding this down. So this isn't just water damage that's stripped off this covering, it's also someone's had a go at sanding it. Got scratch marks here. You can see a few bits around the legs and the top has been sanded. Here there's a little catch. So that instantly tells me that that is for that side. That's where it gets received in there. So that's quite handy. So that's that side. So these should be, yep, that one there. That's the other catch. Goes on there. That goes in there. Now that these two. They are exactly the same, so it probably doesn't matter, but as this has got all the finish on it, that'll be for that side. This has been sanded, so that'll be for that side. Yeah, that's good. Right, so this has been clamped up now for a couple of days. Let's see how it looks. Very nice, very nice. So as you can see, it's all pretty much back together again. The doors fit nicely. And then the next thing is this top. This is the original top. And it is ready for the bin. Now, due to budget constraints on this, I don't want to have to buy a whole sheet of ply to fit this. So I have this cut to size. My worry is the colour. It's a bit pink. And it might be very difficult to match it up to the colour of this. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use tongue oil, and then I'm going to use a shellac, like a garnet shellac or button polish maybe. So I forgot to record the last section, which was fairly easy. I basically ironed the mat nice and flat and then glued it down to the plywood top using just PVA glue, and also tacked the board down with pin tacks and glued it. So it's all nice and firm and secure, and it's dry. So now the next thing, as you can see, it's really bright white colour. I want to age it down. And to do that, I'm going to use my walnut dye, which I have diluted, and I'm just going to gently go over it, adding lots of layers of colour. Now I'm just sealing the top with some special pale shellac, and then once this is dry, I'll take the whole cabinet outside, basically because I haven't got enough room in my workshop, and I will shellac the whole thing. Give it a nice finish. I'll probably go with the garnet shellac for the main finish, just to give it a bit of richness to its colour. Okay, I'm going to let this dry.